Hey there, English learners. Welcome back to Easy English Class.
Shadowing Secrets, Native Speaker Tricks. In today's advanced session, we're going to unlock something extraordinary that will elevate your English speaking to the next level. Today's lesson is all about mastering the secret techniques that native speakers use instinctively. The hidden patterns, subtle rhythms, and natural flows that make the difference between sounding like a learner and sounding completely fluent. We're going to practice advanced shadowing together using authentic native speaker tricks. These aren't just pronunciation tips. These are the insider secrets that will make your English sound effortlessly natural. By the end of this session, you'll have mastered the subtle art of connected speech, learned to use micropauses like a pro, and discovered how to add emotional coloring to your voice that makes conversations come alive. You'll understand how native speakers create emphasis, build suspense, and convey complex emotions through tone and rhythm alone. So if you're ready to move beyond intermediate English and step into the world of truly advanced fluency, this session is your gateway. Before we begin, make sure you subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so you never miss another advanced English mastery session like this. So get ready, take a deep breath, and let's dive into the shadowing secrets that will transform you into a native-level speaker. First, let's talk about what makes native speakers sound different from even advanced learners. It's not vocabulary. Many learners have excellent vocabulary. It's not grammar. Many learners know grammar rules better than natives. The secret lies in the micro-details, the tiny pauses, the subtle emphasis patterns, the way emotions color every syllable, and the natural musicality that flows through every sentence. Native speakers don't think about these patterns. They feel them. And through advanced shadowing, you're going to develop that same intuitive feel for the language. Let's start with our first native speaker secret, emotional micro-expressions in speech. Native speakers don't just say words, they paint emotions with their voice. Listen to how I say this phrase with different emotional colorings and shadow each version. I can't believe what happened yesterday. Surprise. Now repeat with that same sense of amazement in your voice. Feel how your tone rises and falls. Notice how the word can't stretches slightly when expressing surprise, and how happened carries a sense of wonder. I can't believe what happened yesterday. Disappointment. Notice how the same words carry completely different energy. Shadow this version with that heavy, disappointed feeling. The word believe becomes flatter, more monotone, and yesterday drops with resignation. I can't believe what happened yesterday. Excitement. Feel the brightness, the energy bubbling through each word. Here, can't becomes almost bouncy, and yesterday lifts with enthusiasm. This is your first native speaker secret. Every sentence carries emotional DNA. When you shadow, you're not just copying pronunciation, you're absorbing the emotional intelligence of the language. Let me give you more examples of this emotional layering. That's exactly what I needed to hear. Relief. That's exactly what I needed to hear. Sarcasm. That's exactly what I needed to hear. Gratitude. Practice each version, feeling how the same words transform completely based on emotional context. We should probably talk about this. Concern. We should probably talk about this. Excitement. We should probably talk about this. Reluctance. Notice how probably can sound hesitant, eager, or heavy depending on the underlying emotion. Now let's practice another fundamental native speaker trick, the power of strategic pauses. Native speakers use silence as powerfully as they use sound. Watch how strategic pauses create drama and emphasis. Well, I suppose you could say, "It was interesting." Shadow this with the exact same pause patterns. Notice how each pause builds anticipation. The pause after well shows contemplation. The pause after suppose indicates uncertainty. The pause after say builds suspense for the final judgment. Honestly, I have absolutely no idea what you mean. Here, the pause after honestly creates a moment of reflection before the admission of confusion. It's not just a pause, it's a mental reset. Listen, before you make any decisions, think about the consequences. The pause before think gives weight to the advice that follows. It's like underlining the importance of what comes next. This is native speaker secret number 2. Silence speaks louder than words. Master the art of strategic pausing, and your English will sound infinitely more sophisticated. Let's practice more complex pause patterns. The thing is, and I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but I think we need to reconsider. This uses multiple strategic pauses to soften potentially difficult news. So there we were, completely lost, in the middle of nowhere, at midnight. Each pause builds the drama of the story, creating cinematic tension. I've been thinking, and maybe this sounds crazy, but what if we tried something completely different? The pauses here create space for a bold idea to emerge naturally. Now let's explore one of the most advanced native speaker techniques, layered intonation. This is where your voice carries multiple messages simultaneously. Listen and shadow. That's exactly what I was hoping you'd say. Relief mixed with sarcasm. The pause after that's, combined with the emphasis on exactly, creates a complex emotional cocktail. Oh, wonderful, another meeting. Obvious sarcasm disguised as enthusiasm. The rising tone on wonderful, followed by the flat delivery of another meeting, creates perfect ironic contrast. I'm sure everything will work out perfectly, hope tinged with doubt. The emphasis on sure and perfectly reveals the speaker's uncertainty despite the positive words. Native speakers constantly layer emotions this way. They say one thing while their tone suggests something else entirely. This creates the rich, complex communication that makes English so expressive. Let's practice more examples of layered intonation. That sounds like a fantastic opportunity. Genuine enthusiasm. That sounds like a fantastic opportunity. Polite skepticism. That sounds like a fantastic opportunity. Worried concern. I'm really looking forward to this. Authentic excitement. I'm really looking forward to this. Nervous anticipation. I'm really looking forward to this. Complete dread masked as positivity. You've been incredibly helpful. Sincere gratitude. You've been incredibly helpful. Frustrated sarcasm. You've been incredibly helpful. Surprised appreciation. Let's practice this in a business context. Imagine you're in a corporate boardroom and you need to express disagreement diplomatically. I appreciate your perspective, though I wonder if we might consider alternative approaches. Shadow this with polite firmness. Respectful on the surface, but clearly disagreeing underneath. The emphasis on appreciate shows respect, while wonder if we might softens the disagreement. That's certainly an interesting proposal, and I'm curious about how it might impact our timeline. Notice the diplomatic language that questions, without directly criticizing. Certainly, and interesting, maintain politeness while curious about how it might impact, raises concerns indirectly. I love your creative thinking here, and I'm wondering if we could explore some additional options. This is the art of native speaker diplomacy, saying no while sounding supportive. Love your creative thinking acknowledges value before wondering if we could explore, suggests alternatives. Let's expand on business communication patterns. I think there might be some room for improvement in our current approach. This gently suggests problems without directly criticizing. Have we considered what might happen if we took a different direction? A question format makes disagreement feel collaborative rather than confrontational. I'm excited about the possibilities, and I want to make sure we're covering all our bases. Enthusiasm combined with thoroughness creates positive momentum while ensuring completeness. Your insights have been valuable, and I think they've sparked some interesting questions. This acknowledges contribution while introducing new considerations. I can see the benefits of this strategy, and I'm wondering about potential challenges we might face. Balance positive recognition with practical concerns. Now let's move into social contexts, where native speakers use completely different vocal patterns. At a casual dinner party, listen to these authentic patterns. Oh my goodness, you'll never believe what happened at work today. Shadow this with genuine excitement and anticipation. Notice how the voice rises with eager energy. Oh my goodness shows surprise. You'll never believe builds anticipation, and the rising tone on today leaves the story hanging. So there I was, standing in the elevator when suddenly... Here's the classic storytelling setup. The pause after suddenly creates suspense. The phrase, "so there I was," immediately signals story time to listeners. And then, and this is the best part, he turned around and said, "This is how natives build dramatic tension in casual stories." And then moves the narrative forward, the aside, and this is the best part, heightens anticipation, and the trailing said leaves listeners hanging. Let's practice more storytelling techniques. You know what the funny thing was? The whole time, I had no idea that this pattern builds curiosity with a rhetorical question followed by revelation. Picture this. It's raining, I'm running late, and suddenly my phone dies. Picture this invites listeners into the scene, then paints the setting with quick details. The weirdest thing happened to me yesterday, and I still can't figure out what it meant. This creates intrigue by promising a mystery that even the storyteller hasn't solved. Wait until you hear this. You're going to think I'm making it up. Pre-frames the story as almost unbelievable, raising stakes for the listener. I have to tell you something, but you have to promise not to laugh. Creates intimacy and anticipation while setting expectations for the listener's response. Let's practice relationship conversations where emotional subtlety is everything. We need to talk. Serious relationship discussion. The flat, measured tone immediately signals importance and gravity. How was your day? Genuine, caring interest. Rising intonation with warm undertones shows authentic care and engagement. How was your day? Distracted, going through the motions. Flatter intonation, possibly while multitasking, shows routine politeness without deep engagement. Same words, completely different emotional landscapes. This is the sophistication of native speaker communication. More relationship communication examples. I've been thinking about us lately. The pause after thinking and emphasis on us signals a significant conversation. You seem different today. Is everything okay? Gentle observation, followed by caring inquiry, shows attentiveness and concern. I really appreciate how patient you've been with me. Really adds emphasis to genuine gratitude, while patient acknowledges the other person's effort. Can we take a few minutes to talk about what happened earlier? Respectful request for dialogue about a specific incident, showing maturity in communication. I want you to know that I heard what you said, and I'm thinking about it. Acknowledges the other person's communication while indicating ongoing processing. Moving into professional phone conversations, natives use specific vocal techniques to sound confident and authoritative. Good morning, this is Jennifer. calling from Morrison Industries regarding our conversation yesterday. Notice the crisp, professional tone with clear word boundaries. Each piece of information is delivered distinctly: greeting, identification, company, and purpose. I'm following up on the proposal we discussed, and I wanted to schedule a time to review the details. The rhythm here is measured and businesslike, with each key word receiving proper emphasis. Following up shows professionalism, while wanted to schedule indicates courtesy and organization. Would Thursday at 2:30 work for your calendar? The rising intonation on Thursday, followed by the falling tone on the time, shows polite inquiry, followed by specific information. Let's expand on professional phone techniques. Thank you for taking the time to speak with me today. I know how busy your schedule is. Shows appreciation while acknowledging the other person's value and time constraints. I wanted to circle back on the points we discussed and see if you had any additional thoughts. Circle back is professional terminology for revisiting topics, showing thoroughness and follow-through. Based on our conversation, I've prepared some materials that I think you'll find relevant. Demonstrates active listening and proactive response to the other person's needs. I'm confident we can find a solution that works well for everyone involved. Projects assurance while emphasizing collaborative problem solving. Let me know if there's any additional information I can provide to help with your decision. Offers ongoing support while respecting the other person's decision-making process. Let's explore native speaker techniques in customer service situations. I completely understand your frustration, and I want to make sure we resolve this for you today. This combines empathy with solution-focused language. Completely understand validates feelings, while resolve this for you today shows commitment and urgency. Let me see what options we have available, and I'll find the best way to help you. The pause after available gives the customer confidence that you're actively working on their problem. I've taken care of everything, and you should see the changes reflected within 24 hours. This provides both action and specific time frame, exactly what customers want to hear. More customer service patterns. I apologize for the inconvenience this has caused, and I'm going to personally ensure this gets resolved. Personal ownership and accountability combined with sincere apology. You're absolutely right to be concerned about this, and I would feel the same way in your situation. Validates the customer's emotional response while showing empathy. Here's what I can do for you right now, and here's what we'll have completed by tomorrow. Clear, immediate action, followed by specific next steps and timeline. I want to make sure you're completely satisfied before we end our conversation today. Commitment to resolution with quality assurance built in. Thank you for bringing this to our attention. Your feedback helps us improve our service for everyone. Turns a complaint into a positive contribution while showing appreciation. Now let's practice native speaker techniques in educational settings. Teachers and professors use specific vocal patterns to engage and inform. Today we're going to explore something fascinating that will change how you think about this subject. The emphasis on fascinating and change creates intellectual excitement. The promise of transformation engages curiosity. But here's where it gets really interesting. This is the classic academic transition that builds curiosity. But here's where signals a turn in the narrative. While really interesting, promises payoff for attention. Think about this for a moment. What would happen if we applied this principle to real-world situations? The pause after moment gives students time to process before presenting the challenge. The question format engages active thinking. More educational communication patterns. I want you to imagine you're facing this dilemma in your own professional life. Creates personal relevance and engagement with abstract concepts. This might seem counterintuitive at first, but stay with me as we work through the logic. Acknowledges potential confusion while building trust in the learning process. Notice how this connects to what we discussed last week about market dynamics. Links new information to prior learning, building comprehensive understanding. Let me show you why this matters by walking through a concrete example. Bridges theoretical concepts with practical application, enhancing comprehension. By the end of today's session, you'll have the tools to analyze any situation using this framework. Sets clear learning objectives while building confidence in capability development. Let's move into native speaker patterns for social gatherings and parties. Have you met Sarah? She's the one I was telling you about, who just got back from Thailand. This is how natives make social connections and share context naturally. The introduction includes relevant background information that gives conversation starters. You absolutely have to try this appetizer. The chef is incredible. Notice the enthusiastic recommendation with specific praise. Absolutely have to show strong endorsement, while crediting the chef adds context. I was just thinking about what you said earlier regarding the housing market. This shows how natives reference earlier conversations and continue discussions naturally. It demonstrates active listening and ongoing interest. More social gathering patterns. I love what you've done with this space. It feels so warm and inviting. Specific compliment about the environment that shows observation and appreciation. How do you know our host? I'm always curious about the connections in these gatherings. Polite inquiry that builds understanding of social networks and shared relationships. This music is perfect for the atmosphere. Do you happen to know who the artist is? Shows appreciation for ambiance while seeking information in a conversational way. I couldn't help but overhear your conversation about renewable energy. That's exactly what I work in. Polite way to join ongoing conversations by identifying shared interests. What brought you to this event? I'm always interested in how people discover these gatherings. Open-ended question that invites storytelling and reveals common interests. Advanced native speakers also master the art of conversational transitions. Speaking of travel, did you hear about the new airline routes to South America? Smooth topic transitions that feel natural rather than forced. That reminds me of something similar that happened to my colleague last month. Uses personal connections to bridge topics while maintaining relevance. On a completely different note, have you had a chance to read that book I recommended? Acknowledges topic change while maintaining conversational flow and showing ongoing interest. More transition techniques. Before I forget, I wanted to ask you about something you mentioned last time we talked. Shows memory of previous conversations while introducing new topics. This conversation has me thinking about a related issue that's been on my mind lately. Uses current discussion as springboard for related topics of personal interest. Since we're talking about challenges in your industry, I'm curious about your perspective on builds on established topics to explore related areas of expertise. I don't want to change the subject entirely, but your comment about teamwork reminds me of gentle topic expansion that maintains connection to current conversation. Let's practice native speaker techniques in retail and shopping environments. I'm looking for something special for my anniversary, and I was hoping you might have some suggestions. This combines specific purpose with openness to advice, shows the occasion's importance while inviting expert guidance. This is beautiful, but I'm wondering if you have anything in a similar style but perhaps a bit more contemporary. Native speakers give specific feedback while remaining diplomatic about preferences, acknowledges quality while stating different needs. Could you hold this for me while I look around a bit more? I want to make sure I'm making the right choice. This shows consideration for both the salesperson and personal decision-making process. Demonstrates thoughtful purchasing behavior. More retail communication examples. I'm trying to stay within a certain budget range. Could you show me options between $200 and $300? Clear budget communication that helps salespeople provide appropriate options. I really like the quality of this brand. What other items do you carry from this manufacturer? Shows brand loyalty while seeking to expand purchase options. This would be perfect if it came in navy blue. Do you have it in other colors? Expresses strong interest while inquiring about variations that would seal the purchase. I'm not in a hurry to decide today. Would it be possible to call you if I have questions later? Establishes ongoing relationship while managing purchase timeline pressure. You've been incredibly helpful. I really appreciate you taking the time to explain all the options. Genuine gratitude that builds positive relationships with service providers. Moving into healthcare conversations, natives use specific patterns to communicate with medical professionals. I've been experiencing some discomfort in my lower back, particularly when I first wake up in the morning. Precise description with specific timing information. Medical communication requires accuracy and detail. It's been going on for about 2 weeks now, and it seems to be getting gradually worse. Clear timeline with progression information that helps healthcare providers assess severity and urgency. I'm wondering if this could be related to my new exercise routine or if I should be concerned about something else. This shows self-awareness while seeking professional opinion. Demonstrates thoughtful consideration of potential causes. More healthcare communication patterns. I've been tracking my symptoms, and I notice they tend to be worse in the evenings. Shows proactive health management and provides specific observational data. My family has a history of heart disease, so I want to be particularly careful about chest pain. Relevant family medical history that provides important context for assessment. I've tried over-the-counter pain relief, but it doesn't seem to be helping much. Describes self-treatment attempts and their effectiveness, giving healthcare providers baseline information. I'm concerned because this is different from anything I've experienced before. Expresses appropriate concern while providing context about personal health patterns. Could you explain what this test will involve and what we're looking for? Active participation in healthcare decisions through informed questioning. Let's explore native speaker patterns in transportation contexts. Excuse me, I'm trying to get to the financial district, and I'm not familiar with this area. Polite help seeking with specific destination and honest context about local knowledge. Is this the fastest route, or would you recommend taking the highway instead? Asking for expert advice while showing you have some knowledge of alternatives. I appreciate your help. You've made my day so much easier. Genuine gratitude with specific acknowledgement of the impact on personal experience. More transportation communication. I need to catch the 8:15 train. Approximately, how long will this trip take? Specific scheduling needs with polite inquiry about timing. Could you let me know when we're approaching downtown? I don't want to miss my stop. Polite request for assistance that acknowledges personal limitations. Is there usually much traffic on this route at this time of day? Seeks local knowledge about patterns and timing from experienced drivers. I'm running a bit behind schedule. Would it be possible to take the most direct route? Communicates urgency while making specific requests about route selection. Thank you for getting me here safely. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Appreciation for service with warm, personal wishes for the service provider. Now let's practice advanced native speaker techniques in emergency or urgent situations. I need immediate assistance. There's been an accident at the intersection of Pine Street and Fifth Avenue. Clear, urgent communication with specific location information. Emergency communication prioritizes clarity and essential details. The person is conscious and breathing, but they appear to have injured their leg. Factual information delivered calmly under pressure. Medical status provided systematically. I'm staying with them until help arrives. Please send someone as quickly as possible. Shows responsibility while emphasizing urgency. Demonstrates good citizenship and clear request for action. More emergency communication patterns. This is an urgent situation. I need to speak with someone in authority immediately. Establishes priority level while making specific request for appropriate personnel. I want to report a suspicious situation that I believe requires immediate attention. Clear categorization of concern with appropriate urgency level. There are children involved, so please treat this as a high priority. Provides context that helps responders understand severity and resource allocation needs. I can remain on the line to provide additional information as needed. Offers continued cooperation and availability for follow-up questions. Please confirm that you have the correct address and contact information. Ensures accuracy of critical information in high-stress situations. Let's move into native speaker patterns for academic and research contexts. I'm researching the correlation between urban development and environmental sustainability. Professional language with specific academic terminology that establishes credibility and expertise. My preliminary findings suggest there might be some interesting connections that haven't been fully explored. Academic caution combined with enthusiasm for discovery shows scientific methodology and measured conclusions. I'd be interested in hearing your perspective on these results. Professional invitation for collaboration and feedback demonstrates openness to peer review. More academic communication patterns. The literature seems to indicate a gap in our understanding of this phenomenon. Academic language that identifies research opportunities and positions. New work. I'm particularly intrigued by the implications this might have for policy development. Shows practical application awareness and broader impact consideration. Have you encountered similar patterns in your own research? Seeks professional connections and comparative insights from colleagues. I'm hoping to present these findings at the upcoming conference in Denver. Professional development goals and academic networking objectives. The methodology I'm using is based on established frameworks, but with some novel applications. Positions research as building on existing work while contributing innovation. Native speakers also excel at handling technological and digital communication. I'm having some technical difficulties with the software, and I'm wondering if you could walk me through the troubleshooting process. Clear problem statement with specific request for help shows willingness to learn and follow guidance. The system keeps freezing whenever I try to upload large files. Precise description of the recurring problem with specific trigger identification. I've tried restarting already, but the issue persists. Shows initiative and basic troubleshooting attempts while indicating the problem's persistence. More technical communication examples. Could you help me understand why this feature isn't working as expected? Seeks explanation rather than just solution, showing desire to learn underlying causes. I'm getting an error message that says, "Does that mean anything specific to you?" Reports exact error information while seeking expert interpretation. Is there a way to prevent this from happening again in the future? Proactive approach to problem solving that seeks long-term solutions. I want to make sure I'm using this correctly. Could you verify that I'm following the right process? Quality assurance mindset that seeks confirmation of proper procedures. Would it be helpful if I sent you screenshots of what I'm seeing? Offers additional information to help troubleshooters understand the problem better. Let's practice native speaker techniques in financial and banking scenarios. I'd like to discuss some investment options that might be appropriate for my financial goals. Professional language showing readiness for serious financial planning. Demonstrates forward-thinking approach. I'm particularly interested in long-term growth strategies rather than short-term gains. Specific investment philosophy clearly communicated. Shows thoughtful approach to financial planning. Could you explain the fees associated with different account types? Direct question about important financial details. Demonstrates informed consumer behavior. More financial communication patterns. I'm trying to build a diversified portfolio. What options would you recommend for someone in my situation? Sophisticated financial vocabulary with request for personalized advice. What kind of risk level am I looking at with these different investment choices? Important question about risk assessment that shows responsible investment thinking. I'd like to understand the tax implications of these various options. Comprehensive financial planning that considers multiple factors beyond returns. How often should I expect to review and adjust my investment strategy? Long-term thinking about ongoing financial management responsibilities. I want to make sure I understand all the terms before I commit to anything. Careful decision-making approach that prioritizes understanding over speed. Moving into entertainment and cultural event contexts. This performance is absolutely breathtaking. The way they're interpreting the music is extraordinary. Sophisticated cultural commentary with specific artistic appreciation. Shows depth of cultural engagement. I've never seen anything quite like this before. It's completely mesmerizing. Personal response that invites shared cultural experience. Communicates authentic emotional impact. The choreography and the musical arrangement work together so beautifully. Technical appreciation showing cultural knowledge and artistic understanding. More cultural communication examples. The artistic vision behind this exhibition is so thought-provoking. Intellectual engagement with artistic concepts and deeper meanings. I'm fascinated by how this piece challenges conventional perspectives. Shows appreciation for innovative artistic expression and boundary-pushing work. The attention to detail in every aspect of this production is remarkable. Recognition of comprehensive artistic effort and professional craftsmanship. This really makes you think about contemporary social issues in a new way. Connects artistic experience to broader cultural and social commentary. I can see why this artist has received so much critical acclaim. Professional recognition that shows awareness of artistic reputation and merit. Let's explore native speaker patterns in fitness and wellness conversations. I'm working on building strength and flexibility, and I'm curious about which classes might be most beneficial. Clear fitness goals with openness to professional guidance. Shows specific areas of interest. I've been doing yoga for about 6 months now, but I'd like to challenge myself with something new. Personal history with desire for progression. Demonstrates commitment while seeking growth. How do you modify exercises for someone with previous knee injuries? Responsible approach to fitness with specific health considerations. Shows safety-first mindset. More fitness communication patterns. I'm interested in developing a sustainable workout routine that fits with my busy schedule. Practical approach to fitness planning that considers lifestyle constraints. What kind of results should I realistically expect if I commit to training 3 times per week? Goal-oriented thinking with realistic expectation setting about commitment and outcomes. I'd like to focus on functional fitness that will help me in daily activities. practical fitness goals that connect training to real-life applications. Could you recommend a nutrition plan that would complement this exercise program? Comprehensive approach to health that considers multiple factors for optimal results. I want to make sure I'm using proper form to prevent injury. Safety-conscious approach that prioritizes technique over intensity. Native speakers also use specific patterns when discussing food and dining. This dish has incredible depth of flavor. I'm detecting hints of rosemary and perhaps some citrus. Sophisticated food appreciation with specific flavor identification. Shows culinary knowledge and palate development. The presentation is stunning, and every bite offers something different. Aesthetic and sensory appreciation combined. Shows attention to both visual and taste elements. I'm curious about the chef's inspiration for this combination of ingredients. Shows culinary interest and respect for creative process. Demonstrates sophisticated food culture engagement. More culinary communication examples. The way these flavors complement each other is absolutely masterful. Technical appreciation of culinary skill and flavor pairing expertise. I've never experienced this cuisine before, but I'm completely captivated by it. Openness to new culinary experiences combined with enthusiastic response. Could you recommend a wine that would pair well with this particular dish? Sophisticated dining behavior that seeks expert guidance for optimal experience. The texture of this preparation is unlike anything I've had before. Technical food appreciation that goes beyond basic taste to consider mouthfeel. I can taste the quality of the ingredients. Everything is so fresh and vibrant. Recognition of high-quality sourcing and ingredient selection. Let's practice native speaker techniques in home and property contexts. We're looking for something with character, maybe a place with some history, but updated with modern conveniences. Specific housing preferences with balanced requirements. Shows sophisticated understanding of property values. The neighborhood feel is really important to us. We want somewhere with a strong sense of community. Values-based housing priorities clearly expressed. Goes beyond physical property to lifestyle considerations. We'd love to find a place where we can entertain friends and family comfortably. Lifestyle requirements integrated into housing search. Shows social values and hospitality priorities. More property communication patterns. We're hoping to find something that's move-in ready but with potential for future improvements. Balanced approach to property condition that considers both immediate and long-term needs. The school district is a major factor in our decision. We want the best opportunities for our children. Family-focused priorities that consider long-term educational implications. We'd like to understand the property taxes and ongoing maintenance costs. Practical financial planning that considers total cost of ownership. How has property value in this area been trending over the past few years? Investment-minded thinking about real estate as financial asset. We want to make sure we're making a smart, long-term investment for our family. Comprehensive decision-making that balances personal needs with financial considerations. Moving into native speaker patterns for hobbies and personal interests. I've been passionate about photography for years, but I'm just starting to experiment with different styles. Personal passion with admission of learning process. Shows growth mindset and continuous development. There's something magical about capturing that perfect moment when everything aligns. Emotional connection to hobby with artistic appreciation. Communicates the deeper meaning beyond technical skills. I'm always looking for new techniques to expand my creative possibilities. Growth mindset applied to personal interests. Shows commitment to continuous learning and improvement. More hobby communication patterns. I find that this hobby helps me relax and disconnect from work stress. Practical benefits of personal interests beyond skill development or achievement. The community of people involved in this activity is incredibly welcoming and supportive. Social aspects of hobbies and importance of community connections. I love how this challenges me to see the world from completely different perspectives. Personal growth aspects of hobby engagement and mindset development. Every time I practice, I discover something new about myself and my capabilities. Self-discovery through skill development and personal challenge engagement. I'm thinking about taking this to the next level and maybe entering some competitions. Natural progression and goal setting within hobby development. Let's explore native speaker techniques in volunteer and community service contexts. I'm interested in contributing to the community, and I'm wondering what opportunities might be available. Service-oriented mindset with openness to various possibilities shows civic engagement and social responsibility. I have experience in marketing, but I'm willing to help wherever there's the greatest need. Specific skills offered with flexible attitude. Demonstrates both capability and adaptability. It's important to me to make a meaningful difference in people's lives. Personal values clearly expressed as motivation. Shows depth of commitment beyond casual involvement. More volunteer communication patterns. I'm looking for ways to use my professional skills to benefit the community. Strategic approach to volunteering that maximizes impact through expertise application. I want to be involved in something that addresses issues I'm genuinely passionate about. Authentic engagement that aligns personal interests with community needs. Could you help me understand what kind of time commitment would be most valuable? Practical approach to volunteering that ensures realistic commitment levels. I'm interested in both direct service and behind-the-scenes support roles. Flexibility and openness to different types of volunteer engagement. How do you measure success in these programs? And how can volunteers track their impact? Results-oriented thinking about volunteer effectiveness and meaningful contribution. Native speakers also excel in environmental and sustainability conversations. I've been trying to reduce my environmental footprint, and I'm always looking for new ways to live more sustainably. Personal commitment with ongoing learning attitude shows environmental consciousness and continuous improvement. It's fascinating how small changes in daily habits can have such a significant cumulative impact. Recognition of collective environmental responsibility and systems thinking about personal choices. I'm particularly interested in renewable energy solutions for residential use. Specific environmental interest with practical application focus shows serious engagement with sustainability issues. More environmental communication patterns. I'm trying to make more conscious choices about the products I buy and the companies I support. Consumer activism and ethical purchasing decisions as environmental strategy. Our family has been working together to reduce waste and increase recycling efforts. Collective environmental action and family engagement in sustainability practices. I'm curious about how individual actions connect to larger environmental policy changes. Systems thinking about personal responsibility and policy-level environmental action. I want to understand the science behind climate change so I can make more informed decisions. Educational approach to environmental engagement that prioritizes knowledge-based action. It's encouraging to see more businesses adopting sustainable practices. I try to support those companies. Recognition of corporate environmental responsibility and conscious consumer choices. Let's practice native speaker patterns in parenting and family discussions. We're trying to balance giving our children independence while ensuring they make responsible choices. Complex parenting philosophy, expressed clearly, shows sophisticated understanding of child development balance. It's amazing how much they learn just from observing how we handle different situations. Recognition of parental modeling responsibility and children's natural learning processes. We want to encourage their natural curiosity while helping them develop critical thinking skills. Educational philosophy with specific developmental goals that balance exploration with skill building. More parenting communication examples. I'm constantly amazed by how quickly they pick up new concepts and make connections. Wonder and appreciation for children's learning capabilities and cognitive development. We try to create opportunities for them to solve problems independently before we step in. Intentional parenting approach that fosters self-reliance and problem-solving abilities. It's important to us that they understand the value of hard work and persistence. Values-based parenting that focuses on character development and work ethic. We want them to feel confident expressing their opinions while learning to respect others' perspectives. Balanced approach to raising confident yet empathetic children in social contexts. Family dinners have become our time to really connect and hear about everyone's day. Intentional family bonding practices that prioritize communication and relationship building. Moving into native speaker techniques for personal development conversations. I'm working on building better habits around time management and personal productivity. Self-improvement focus with specific skill areas. Shows growth mindset and practical self-awareness. It's challenging to break old patterns, but I'm committed to making positive changes. Honest acknowledgement of difficulty with determined mindset. Realistic about change process complexity. I've found that accountability really helps me stay focused on my goals. Personal insight about effective motivation strategies and self-knowledge about what works. More personal development patterns. I'm learning to be more mindful about how I spend my energy throughout the day. Self-awareness about energy management and intentional living practices. Reading has become an important part of my personal growth journey. Integration of learning activities into self-improvement efforts and continuous education. I'm trying to develop better emotional intelligence in both my personal and professional relationships. Sophisticated understanding of emotional skills and their application across life contexts. Meditation has helped me gain perspective on challenges and respond rather than react. Practical application of mindfulness practices to emotional regulation and decision-making. I'm working on being more comfortable with uncertainty and change. Personal growth that addresses anxiety and adaptability in modern life contexts. Let's explore native speaker patterns in spiritual and philosophical discussions. I'm exploring different approaches to mindfulness and inner peace. Personal spiritual journey expressed openly without specific religious doctrine. There's something profound about taking time to reflect on life's deeper questions. Recognition of spiritual and philosophical value in contemplative practices. I find that meditation helps me stay centered during stressful periods. Practical application of spiritual practices to daily life management and emotional well-being. More spiritual communication examples. I've been thinking a lot about what really matters and how I want to live my life. Existential reflection and values clarification through spiritual or philosophical inquiry. Different wisdom traditions seem to share common insights about human nature and happiness. Comparative spiritual thinking that recognizes universal truths across different belief systems. I'm drawn to practices that help me feel more connected to something larger than myself. spiritual seeking that emphasizes connection and transcendence beyond individual concerns. Prayer and reflection have become important anchors in my daily routine. Integration of spiritual practices into everyday life for stability and grounding. I find great comfort in the idea that we're all part of something interconnected and meaningful. Spiritual worldview that emphasizes unity, purpose, and cosmic connection. Native speakers also use specific techniques when discussing current events and social issues. It's encouraging to see more people engaging in meaningful conversations about these important topics. Positive observation about social engagement and civic discourse improvement. I think it's crucial that we listen to different perspectives before forming strong opinions. Advocacy for thoughtful dialogue and understanding in political and social discussions. These issues are complex, and they require nuanced solutions rather than simple answers. Recognition of complexity in social and political matters, advocating for sophisticated analysis. More current events communication patterns. I try to get my news from multiple sources to understand different angles on important stories. Media literacy and information gathering strategies that prioritize comprehensive understanding. It's important to separate facts from opinions when discussing controversial topics. Critical thinking approach to information analysis and civil discourse. I'm hopeful that younger generations will find creative solutions to the challenges we're facing. Optimistic perspective on social change and intergenerational problem solving. Local issues often have the most direct impact on our daily lives, so I try to stay informed about community matters. Recognition of civic engagement at multiple levels and practical political awareness. I believe in the importance of voting and participating in democratic processes. Civic responsibility and democratic engagement as fundamental citizenship duties. Let's practice native speaker patterns in creative and artistic contexts. I'm exploring different mediums to express my creative vision. Artistic development with experimental approach to creative expression and skill building. There's something liberating about the creative process. It allows you to discover things about yourself. Personal insight about artistic expression and self-discovery through creative practices. I'm inspired by artists who push boundaries and challenge conventional thinking. Appreciation for innovative creative work and artistic risk-taking that expands possibilities. More creative communication examples. Art has always been my way of processing emotions and making sense of the world. Personal relationship with creativity as emotional outlet and meaning-making tool. I love collaborating with other artists. The creative energy that emerges is incredible. Recognition of collaborative creativity and community aspects of artistic work. Every piece I create teaches me something new about my own perspective and capabilities. Growth mindset applied to creative work and continuous learning through artistic practice. I'm fascinated by how art can communicate things that words alone cannot express. Understanding of artistic communication and the unique power of creative expression. The creative community has been so supportive of experimentation and artistic growth. Appreciation for artistic communities and peer support in creative development. Moving into native speaker techniques for mentoring and guidance conversations. I've learned so much from my mistakes over the years, and I hope I can help others avoid similar pitfalls. Wisdom sharing with humble acknowledgement of personal learning through experience. The key is to remain curious and keep asking questions, even when you think you know the answers. Mentoring advice about lifelong learning attitude and intellectual humility. Success often comes from persistence rather than perfection. Life philosophy expressed as guidance about effort versus outcome focus. More mentoring communication patterns. I try to share both the successes and the failures because both offer valuable lessons. Balanced mentoring approach that provides realistic perspective on growth and learning. The most important thing I can teach you is how to trust your own judgment. Empowerment-focused mentoring that builds independence rather than dependence. Every person's path is different, so my experience is just one perspective among many. Humble mentoring approach that recognizes individual differences and multiple valid paths. I encourage you to seek out diverse mentors who can offer different insights and experiences. Systems thinking about mentoring relationships and comprehensive professional development. The best mentoring relationships are mutual. I often learn as much as I share. Recognition of reciprocal value in mentoring relationships and continuous learning mindset. Let's explore native speaker patterns in networking and professional relationship building. I'm always interested in connecting with people who share similar professional passions. Professional networking with genuine interest focus rather than transactional approach. Your work in sustainable architecture sounds fascinating. I'd love to learn more about your approach. Specific professional interest with invitation for deeper conversation and knowledge exchange. I believe the best professional relationships develop naturally from shared interests and mutual respect. Philosophy about authentic professional networking and relationship building over time. More networking communication examples. I'm curious about how you made the transition from engineering to project management. Professional interest in career development paths and learning from others' experiences. Would you be interested in grabbing coffee sometime to discuss industry trends? Natural networking invitation that focuses on shared professional interests rather than personal gain. I really appreciate your insights on market dynamics. They've given me a lot to think about. Acknowledgement of professional value received and gratitude for knowledge sharing. I'd be happy to introduce you to some colleagues who work in that area. Generous networking behavior that offers value and connections to professional contacts. It would be great to stay in touch and perhaps collaborate on future projects. Future-oriented networking that suggests ongoing professional relationship development. Native speakers also master retirement and life transition conversations. I'm looking forward to this next chapter of my life and all the new possibilities it might bring. Positive attitude toward major life transition with openness to new experiences and opportunities. It's exciting to think about having more time to pursue interests I've always wanted to explore. Anticipation of personal fulfillment in retirement and delayed gratification finally realized. I want to stay active and engaged in meaningful ways during these years. Intention to maintain purpose and vitality through active retirement planning and engagement. More retirement communication patterns. I'm hoping to find ways to use my professional experience to mentor younger people. Service-oriented approach to retirement that continues contributing professional knowledge. Travel has always been a dream, and now I finally have the time to explore the world. Personal aspirations and bucket list fulfillment through retirement opportunities. I want to give back to my community in ways that my career schedule never allowed. Civic engagement and volunteer service as retirement fulfillment and social contribution. It's strange to think about not having a daily work routine, but I'm ready for the change. Honest acknowledgement of transition challenges while maintaining positive outlook on change. I'm looking forward to spending more quality time with family and old friends. Relationship prioritization and reconnection as central retirement values and activities. Let's practice native speaker patterns in technology and digital literacy contexts. I'm trying to stay current with technology, but sometimes it feels like everything changes so quickly. Honest acknowledgement of technological change pace and personal adaptation challenges. I appreciate how technology can connect us, but I also value face-to-face interaction. Balanced perspective on technology benefits and limitations in human connection. I'm learning to be more mindful about my screen time and digital consumption habits. Self-awareness about technology use and intentional digital wellness practices. More technology communication examples. Social media can be overwhelming, but I found ways to use it that feel positive and productive. Nuanced understanding of technology platforms and personal strategies for healthy usage. I'm fascinated by how artificial intelligence is changing the way we work and solve problems. Interest in technological advancement and its practical implications for professional life. Privacy and security have become much more important to me as I understand the digital landscape better. Growing digital literacy and awareness of online safety and personal data protection. I try to teach my children about responsible technology use and digital citizenship. Parental responsibility in the digital age and values-based approach to technology education. Technology should enhance our lives, not control them. That's the balance I'm working toward. Philosophical approach to technology integration that prioritizes human values and autonomy. Moving into native speaker techniques for health and wellness conversations. I've become more proactive about my health as I've gotten older. Age-related health awareness and preventative care approach to personal wellness. Mental health is just as important as physical health, and I'm finally treating it that way. Holistic health understanding that integrates psychological and physical well-being. I'm learning to listen to my body and respond to what it needs, rather than pushing through everything. Body awareness and self-care practices that prioritize sustainable health habits. More health communication patterns. Stress management has become a crucial skill for maintaining my overall well-being. Recognition of stress impact on health and proactive stress reduction strategies. I've found that regular exercise improves not just my physical health, but my mood and energy levels. Understanding of exercise benefits beyond physical fitness, including mental health impacts. Nutrition education has helped me make better choices about fueling my body properly. Knowledge-based approach to dietary decisions and understanding of nutrition science. Sleep quality has a huge impact on everything else in my life, so I've made it a priority. Recognition of sleep importance and intentional sleep hygiene practices. I'm working with healthcare providers as partners in maintaining and improving my health. Collaborative approach to healthcare that emphasizes patient engagement and shared decision-making. Let's explore native speaker patterns in cultural and diversity conversations. I love learning about different cultures and perspectives. It enriches my understanding of the world. Appreciation for diversity and cultural learning as personal growth and global awareness. Travel has taught me that people everywhere share similar hopes and dreams despite surface differences. Universal human experience recognition through cultural exposure and travel experiences. I think our differences make us stronger as a community when we embrace them thoughtfully. Diversity appreciation and community building through inclusive thinking and cultural competence. More cultural communication examples. I'm always interested in trying new cuisines and learning about the traditions behind different foods. cultural exploration through food, and appreciation for culinary traditions and heritage. Language learning has given me insights into different ways of thinking and expressing ideas. Cognitive benefits of multilingualism and cultural understanding through language study. I appreciate how different cultural approaches to problem solving can lead to innovative solutions. Recognition of cultural diversity as a resource for creativity and problem solving in various contexts. Art and music from different cultures help me understand universal human experiences. Cultural appreciation through artistic expression and recognition of shared human creativity. I believe that exposure to diversity makes us more empathetic and open-minded people. Personal development through diversity exposure and character building through cultural competence. Finally, let's practice the ultimate native speaker secret, conversational artistry. This is where all these techniques come together to create truly masterful communication. You know, I've been thinking about our conversation last week, and I realized there's something I didn't fully express. Thoughtful reflection with authentic vulnerability and commitment to clear communication. Life has this interesting way of presenting opportunities exactly when we need them most. Philosophical observation delivered conversationally with recognition of timing and synchronicity. Sometimes the most profound insights come from the most unexpected places. Wisdom sharing through personal reflection and openness to learning from diverse sources. More conversational artistry examples. I find myself returning to ideas we discussed months ago. They've really influenced my thinking. Long-term impact acknowledgement and intellectual honesty about ongoing influence of conversations. There's something beautiful about how conversations can evolve and deepen over time. Remember, native speaker mastery isn't about perfection, it's about authenticity. These patterns work because they reflect genuine human communication in all its complexity and beauty. When you shadow these advanced techniques, you're not just learning language. You're learning the art of human connection. The key to mastering these native speaker secrets is understanding that every conversation is a canvas, and your voice is the brush. You can paint with excitement, shade with sympathy, highlight with emphasis, and create depth with strategic silence. This is the true artistry of advanced English communication. Native speakers instinctively layer meaning, emotion, and intention in every utterance. They use pauses not just for breath, but for dramatic effect. They vary their intonation, not randomly, but purposefully, to guide their listeners' emotional journey. They choose words not just for accuracy, but for their emotional resonance and cultural connotations. When you practice these advanced shadowing techniques, you're training your ear to hear these subtle layers and your voice to reproduce them naturally. You're developing the intuitive sense for rhythm, timing, and emotional coloring that separates truly fluent speakers from those who merely know the language well. The beauty of advanced shadowing is that it works on multiple levels simultaneously. While you're consciously focusing on pronunciation and rhythm, your subconscious mind is absorbing the deeper patterns of emotional expression, cultural nuance, and communicative artistry that make native speakers so effective. Keep practicing these patterns until they become as natural as breathing. Shadow not just the words, but the emotions, the pauses, the subtle layering of meaning. This is how you transform from someone who speaks English into someone who speaks like English is their birthright. Your journey to native-level fluency is a process of constant discovery. Every conversation is an opportunity to practice these techniques, to refine your understanding of how language carries meaning beyond words. Embrace the complexity, celebrate the subtlety, and trust that with consistent practice, these native speaker secrets will become your natural way of communicating in English. The most accomplished native speakers are artists of communication. They understand that language is not just about conveying information. It's about creating connection, building understanding, and sharing the full spectrum of human experience. When you master these advanced techniques, you join this community of communicative artists who use language not just as a tool, but as a medium for authentic human expression.